Hello. Hi everyone, my name is Sammy Kori, and today I'm going to be showing you how to add a Google Wallet pass to your Laravel application. So if you have a web application and your customers need to add a pass or a ticket, we're going to see how to do that with a Google Wallet API. Alright, so we're going to do this in two stages. So first of all, we're going to get some credentials. We're going to get a service account from Google and also some private key and public key credentials from this service account that we're going to use to validate the pass that we are going to create. So first of all, we're going to get these credentials from Google, and then we're going to move into our code and see how we can create the pass and then also assign it to the users on our web application. Okay, so first of all, we are going to visit the Google Wallet documentation to see some important terminologies or key terms or the concepts that we need to understand in order to implement this. So first of all, we will need an issuer ID. So the pass issuer, which we would be able to get from the Google Wallet console, will be made available when we log in or we create an account with Google. You just log in into your Google Wallet console, and then you'll be given a pass issuer ID. So first, I'll show you how to get that. So we need a pass issuer ID. Also, to create a class, we need two blocks of code. That is the pass class and then also the pass object. So for this tutorial, we are going to be creating an event ticket. So we'll create an event ticket class and also an event ticket object. Also, like I said, we'll need some credentials, a service account. So this service account will be needed to validate the pass that we have created. That is the object class, and then that's the pass class and then the pass object. And then this service account would have some account keys. That's a private key and a public key that will be used to validate or to encode the pass. Okay, so let's take a look at the development flow for the Google Wallet pass. So after we have acquired these credentials as a service account and then the service account keys, we would create a pass class and then also a pass object. And then we will encode the pass in a JSON web token, that's a JWT. So when we are done creating the JWT, we would sign the JWT with the credentials that I've been talking about, with the service account keys that we got from Google. So this is to validate the pass, that this pass has been created by this issuer. If you remember, we'll be creating an issuer ID. And then when we are done signing our JWT, we are going to attach the JWT to a web link, and then this web link will be put behind a button that when the user clicks, it will take them to the Google pass. So first of all, we're going to go to our Google Cloud Console. So all the links for this tutorial will be made available in the description. So we're going to click on this button to go to our Google Cloud Console. We're going to create a new project. So we click on create new project, and then I'm going to call this tutorial pass. And then we'll click on the create button to create the new project. You make sure you select the project after it has been created, and then we are going to enable the Google Wallet API in this project. Okay, so to be able to do that, we'll just search for the Google Wallet API in the search bar, and then we'll click on enable to enable the Google Wallet API for this project. So the Google Wallet is going to be activated for this project, and then we'll visit credentials. So then we're going to click on credentials in here, and then we'll see below here manage service accounts. So this is where we're going to be creating our service account. So you click on manage service account, and then in here there's a plus button with create service account. So you click on the create service account, and then we're going to create a new service account. So you can give this service account a name. I'm still going to call it tutorial pass. And then when you click on this, the service account ID is going to be created for you, and then an email address as well. And then you can add a description. So this is to create a pass for a tutorial, and then we'll click on done. Alright, so now that we are done creating our service account, you see that we have the email created for us. So we'll be using this in the code. So just copy and save this somewhere, but we can come back and copy this later. And then we're going to need the service account keys. So you're going to click on the 3 dots under actions here, which will take you to manage keys. So you click on manage keys, and then we're going to click on the button add key down here, and then we'll create a new key. So we're going to create a new key in JSON format, and then the button down here, create, you're going to click on that. So by clicking on the button create, you realize that a file has been downloaded onto your machine. So we'll have a JSON file that we are supposed to add into our project later on. So now that we have our service account created and then our service account keys downloaded onto our machines, we can go into the Google Wallet console to add our service account into our Google Wallet console to then continue to create our class and objects. So I'm going to click on close and then move into our Google Wallet console. Right, so we are here in our Google Pay and Wallet console. So the first thing that we have to do here is to add our service account into our users. So we're going to click on the users tab, and then we're going to click on invite a user to add our service account. So remember previously we can copy our service account. We're going to copy our service account email, and then we are going to add that into the email address section here. So we'll select the developer level, access level role for this service account, and then we're going to click on invite. All right, so our service account has been added into our Google Wallet console. So from here, what we have to do is to go into our Google Wallet API, and then you realize that in our Google Wallet API we have some credentials here as well. So this is the issuer ID that I referred to previously. So we'll need this issuer ID when we are developing the code. And then also you realize that currently the Google Wallet API is in demo mode. So demo mode means that any Google Wallet pass that we create here can only be opened by Google accounts that have been added to our users section here. So if you want to open this account in your personal Google account, you need to go in here and then add or invite a user and then add your email in there. So after you have completed your Google Pass and you're happy with how it looks, and then you're ready to publish it, you're going to complete these steps and then request publishing access from Google. And Google is going to contact you by mail. They probably have some questions or evidence to ask of you, and then once you provide all of that, they are immediately going to grant you the publishing access to be able to publish your Google Pass to any Google user out there. Okay, so in here we will be able to create a class, a Google Pass class. So we are going to click on create class, and then like I said, we'll be creating an event ticket pass for this tutorial. So we're going to click on event ticket. So in here you realize that this is a form for our class, our pass class, our event tickets class. So we are going to fill this form. So first of all, we need an issuer name. So I'm going to use tutorial pass, all in caps. And with the status, we are going to change this to under review. And with the multiple devices and holder status allowed, here you get to select if you want the pass to be on different devices for one user or just one device for one user. So with this one, you can just select this one and then move on. You can set some geolocations for your ticket, and what this does is that if you set a geolocation, let's say your event is happening in the town center, and then you set in the geolocation for the town center, anytime the customer or the user is around the location, the pass is going to be notified, or the user is going to be notified about the pass. Here we're going to enter the country code. We'll enter GB. We also have to enter logo image, so this is required. So I'm going to get a logo image here on Google, and then paste it in here. Also, we can create in a hero image or a wordmark image, and also we can add a background color. So with the background color, I think we can just get something from online. We're supposed to add the hex code, and then we'll paste that in there. So for the event ticket class, there's a lot of things that we can fill up in here. So you can go through this one by one, and then if this applies to your event that you are trying to do, you can add this in. You can add several text modules depending on the amount of information that you want to put on the ticket, and also there are several like image modules as well. And because this has been designed for event tickets, there are some specific event ticket data that has been created as well for you to add. So you can add in an event name. I think this is required as well, so we are going to add in event name. So let's say tutorial pass, and then you can add an event ID, a venue ID, venue address, door open time, whatever. Or you can add door open time. So let's do this. So you have to add it in the same format. So I'm going to add 2024, today's date, 18. So let's say 6 p.m. So we're going to apply the same thing, and then in the closing time, we'll make this 10 o'clock p.m. All right. So doors open, label, confirmation code, all of this, if it's relevant to your ticket, you can add it, but we're just creating a basic ticket for this tutorial. So we're going to skip all of this, and then we click on create. Okay, so our new events class has been created. When we go to the dashboard, and the Google Wallet API, we should see our tutorial pass created for us in here, and you can see that the status is active. If the status is on draft, you have to edit it and then change it to active, or else you will not be able to create an object with a class. Okay, so now that we have our class created, we can go right straight into the code. Alright, so first things first, we're going to build our front end. So it's going to basically look like this. So this is a simple add to Google Wallet button that we are going to provide to the user to click on and then generate their pass. We're going to go into the web routes, and we're going to create a route for our Google Pass page. So we're going to use Inertia to render this page, Google Pass, and then we'll go into our pages folder where we will create our Google Pass component or page. So in our Google Pass page, we are going to call our React router to send a post request anytime the user clicks on the button which we have created down here. So these buttons are offered by Google and are required for you to use it in specific dimensions. So all the details of how to use the add to Google Wallet button are in the documentations. The link will be there in the description for you to check it out. So we are going to put an on click and then the function to send our request. Okay, so if you check in our web routes, this is the request that goes to this controller, the pass controller, where we have a function called download pass. So in this pass controller, we are going to handle the creating of the pass and everything else in this pass controller. So now with this pass controller, we have in here, you can see that we are calling on an event ticket pass class. Now this event ticket pass class is a PHP library. We are going to be using an open source library for creating Google Wallets. I'm going to share the link in the description, but this is on GitHub, and if you go in here, there are several pass types that have been created. Classes have been created for all these pass types. So all you need to do is go and grab the code that you need for the particular pass type, and then use it for your code. So we need this class that's the demo event ticket class. So we are going to be using this class in here as our code, our main code to generate our pass. Okay, so in here, all you have to do is just to paste in the code that we just grabbed from the GitHub repository. So in the constructor, as we saw, you realize that we need to make sure that we have this env variable set in our env file. So I'm going to go straight into our controller. So in our controller, we have here our event ticket pass that we have just created, and so we need to call that. We need to import that in before we call it. So we have already created the class, our event ticket class on our Google Wallet. So all we need to create is the object in our code. So we need 3 things. So if you look at, so to create our object, we need the issuer ID, we need the class ID that we just created, that we need a class ID of the class that we created on Google, and then the object ID. So for the object ID, you can use the customer ID, probably a UUID in your code to create the ticket for the customer. So in our controller class, we have our download pass function. So in here, we are calling on two methods in the event ticket pass. That's the create object and then the create JWT for the existing object. So for the create object, you are going to pass in three parameters. So the first one is the issuer ID that we got from the Google Wallet API. So this is the issuer ID in here. So you can see we have it down here. And then the second one is the class ID. So the class ID is going to be the class that you created. So I've already created this one that I'm using, but you can replace it. So the second one is going to be the class ID. And then the third parameter is the object ID. So with the object ID, you can use the customer ID that you are trying to assign the ticket to. So it could be like a UUID or any ID. So here I just put in like a variable customer 2. So we are going to DD the response from the create object method and see what we have over there. So I'm going to go in here and then I'm going to click on this. So in here it says that the object.customer2 already exists. So this is because I've already run the object ID customer2 through this API, and that's the response that you're gonna get. So if you have a list of customers that are in your API, you want to give everybody a specific ticket, you can use their IDs so that they do not get repeated tickets. Okay, so we are going to change the customer ID. Let's say customer 4, and then we're going to run this again. So when we run this, wow, so you see in here our objects, our pass has been created for us. All these contains the details of the pass in our event ticket class. So in here we have everything, and then it has, so in here we have everything. So now what we can do is to generate the JWT for the existing object. So our existing object is customer 4. We have already created a customer 4, so all we need to do is just to create the existing object for customer 4. So I've removed the DD for the first object. So if we run this again, it's going to tell us that customer 4 already exists because it's running the first. Okay, so if we run this, voila, you see that we get our JWT and the link in here. So if we copy this link, you see that we get our Google Wallet assigned to us. So you see that we get our Google Wallet in here, so we can continue to add the Google Wallet to our account and view it. Wow. So all these other details that are found here can be found in our event ticket class that we grabbed from the GitHub repo. So if you look at the create objects function or method, you'll see that it contains all the details in here of the hero image, the text modules, the link modules, and etc, the seat info, row, section, gate, and then the ticket holder name, as you can see in here, and all these images as well. So yes, currently the ticket is showing test only as the default, and as we discussed, if you want this to be gone, we need to request the publishing access from Google, and then once that is granted, you'll be able to distribute passes to any user that you want. So finally, all we need to do in here is to comment out this DD that is killing our process by returning to the front end the link which is in the response. So this will be returned by inertia, and so if we go back to our code, so all we need to do now, if we go back to our code and we click on this link, it should take us directly to our Google Pass that we have just created. All right guys, so we've been able to create the Google Wallet Pass in our Laravel application for web, and I hope you guys are able to follow through with this tutorial. This is the first one I've done. If you enjoy this, please like and also subscribe, and let me know in the comment section if you want me to do a tutorial for Apple Wallet Pass as well, and I'll do that. So make sure to share as well, and if you have any challenges with this tutorial, kindly comment and I'll jump on that as well, and then offer you all the help that you need. All right, take care guys, bye.